The city of Beirut ripped apart after 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate stored in a warehouse at the port explodes. 204 people were killed, 6,500 injured, and 300,000 left homeless. But even before the explosion, Lebanon was sliding into collapse.
This is the worst year, not just in my life, but in Lebanese history. I asked the elderly, and they said that nothing like this has happened before.
The year opened amidst ongoing protests. People were united against the government because of a worsening economy and the government's failure to provide basic services.
Just prices really have increased. Then you have a loss of jobs, so job insecurity, and then also the devaluation of the Lebanese pound, which also that again exacerbated the increase in prices. So already the normal Lebanese were living in uncertainty about what their future would bring.
New Prime Minister Hassan Diab formed a government 2 weeks into the year, but no economic reforms were delivered. Then in March, the coronavirus pandemic hit and Lebanon went into lockdown.
The situation of this year, 2020, was awful. There was no business going on, no work. Then Corona came and made it even worse. We were already at the rate of 0. Now we are less than 0. Who will raise us from less than 0? I really don't know.
Many businesses could not survive after the first lockdown. The price of goods skyrocketed. Many families couldn't even afford basic necessities like bread and milk and vegetables, and some items, like medical supplies, became scarce. Then in August, the explosion hit.
There are no people here anymore. They didn't finish repairing their homes. Even us, we didn't finish fixing our shop. My house and my son's house is here too. The house of my mother. All of them were destroyed. Even the cars were destroyed. And no one helped us. This is the problem. Till now, no one helped us.
The new government, appointed just a few months previously, resigned amid growing anger over the explosion and rampant corruption.
The IRC is putting Lebanon in its watch list because of the effects of COVID-19, the Beirut explosion in particular, and how that has exacerbated the economic crisis in Lebanon and the effects of that. In particular, our main concern is that there is a food insecurity crisis looming in 2021.
And since the explosion 4 months ago, there is still no new government in place, and still none of the essential reforms so desperately needed to improve the economy. While the rest of the world is looking forward to a brighter new year, 2021 still looks bleak for Lebanon. Even if the coronavirus pandemic is brought under control, it still has a long economic and political recovery ahead. And if the government cuts subsidies on basics like wheat and fuel, prices will increase by 50%. That would cause poverty to rise even further, and likely instability too. Imogen Kimber, TRT World, Beirut.